Look at how good the skin looks. Wow, are you impressed? Are you impressed with the zoom? Gotta make sure I'm set up here. Welcome back. Today I'm gonna be talking all things sensitive skin, from a skincare regimen all the way up to makeup tips, advice, techniques on how to deal with it. Whether it's something that you deal with all the time or if your skin is currently just going through it, do not worry. I have been there, done that, especially with the amount of new beauty products I try on the regular. Oftentimes my skin doesn't agree with a lot of them. And also when I'm doing makeup and I'm not satisfied with the tutorial, I oftentimes have to wash my face more than just morning and evening. That is why I am very excited to be partnering with Cetaphil. Also, if you thought it was pronounced Cetaphil and not Cetaphil, don't worry, you're not alone. I've used this product for years. Kyle as well, he would always buy the family size 2-pack for the both of us. And when I told him, I'm like, hey, you know it's pronounced Cetaphil, not Cetaphil. He was like, wait, what? I know, mind blown. So really excited to be partnering with them today because all their products are specifically formulated for a sensitive skin type, and I just always know that it's not going to further aggravate my skin, because the worst thing you can do is have extra sensitive skin and then try an abundance of new products and make it worse. So yeah, we're gonna cover all of that today, starting with cleansing the skin. Like I mentioned, I use the Gentle Skin Cleanser. This product is great because it has a micellar technology, so it helps to remove makeup, any dirt and grime on the skin. You can apply it dry first, which is what I did, because in the morning, which is when I use this one the most, I want something really gentle that isn't gonna strip my skin of any moisture, because I like to work out with a clean face. This was recommended to me by my good friend, esthetician Vanessa Hernandez. I talk about her all the time. During the first ever facial she did on my skin, she noticed I had a lot of breakouts along the hairline, and she said, when you work out, are you working out with a clean face, or do you have makeup or skincare on? I'm like, oh, I normally do like a little bit of a skincare routine. And she said, try working out with a completely clean face. Wash your face in the morning, go to the gym. Once you start sweating, you won't notice, and I completely agree. But that is why the Gentle Skin Cleanser is such a great option first thing in the morning, because I don't know if all of you feel the same way, but when I wake up in the morning, I don't feel like my skin is dirty because I did a full skincare routine the night before. However, when you're sleeping and tossing and turning on your sheets, on your pillowcase, you are accumulating any bacteria that may be on your sleeping surfaces, a little bit of drool, if you will. And if you're working out with any sort of bacteria on your skin, it's just gonna seep into your pores when you work out. So Vanessa's theory of working out with a clean face has worked wonders for my skin. I don't think I get that many breakouts anymore. I do get them occasionally. I mean, I have one like right here that's thriving. And that is why I love the Gentle Skin Cleanser, because when I'm done washing my face, my skin still feels hydrated. It doesn't feel like I just stripped it of all its moisture, and I don't feel the need to go in with any additional skincare. I like to apply one pump dry because you can use it on dry skin. It has a really nice slip to it, almost like you would a double cleansing method, except you can do both with this one product. So one pump dry to remove any bacteria, any like eye boogies, drool crusties, rinse, and if you feel like you need to go in a second time, you can go in with this again when the skin is wet and use it like you would any normal cleanser in your regular routine. If your skin is acting up, guaranteed to be super gentle and effective on the skin. And I'm sure your dermatologist at some point in your life, if you've seen a dermatologist, I have seen multiple dermatologists in my life, and they always say, you should use Cetaphil. Like, they always say it without a fail. Moving on, moisturizer. I already used this, but I'm gonna apply some more because whenever I'm doing makeup, I like a fresh application. Even though this moisturizer, it is the Rich Hydrating Cream for dry to normal skin. It does give 24-hour hydration. I just love the slip that the skin gets from a fresh moisturizer application right before makeup. The formula is actually really lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy. And it also contains some ingredients that we know and love, like vitamin C, hyaluronic acid, niacinamide, all while being really gentle on the skin. I heavily gua sha'd my neck and have some slight, I don't even know if you would call it bruising. It's almost like clotting of the blood You can see that, so don't be alarmed when you see that. And I do have a video on my Gua Sha routine that I will link up here for you guys. I love the glow I'm getting from this moisturizer. And also while I'm here, little advice, big tip, big advice, little tip. If your skin is experiencing extreme sensitivity, listen up. Keep it simple and revert back to the basics. I have said this before, and I have learned the hard way where I'm desperate to get my skin back to a normal, balanced state. And to try and fix it, I end up using a ton of different products, making the situation worse. So when I say keep it simple and revert back to the basics, I mean cleanse, treat if needed, a treatment that you know works for you that you have regularly used in the past, and moisturize. And essentially you can get rid of treat, cleanse and moisturize for the time being until you can get your skin to a nice, healthy balance. Gentle Skin Cleanser, Rich Hydrating Cream, perfect examples of this. I mean, the skin, look at this. It's glowing, it's dewy. Acids and exfoliators are products that can definitely further aggravate my skin. I love them, but if my skin is already feeling extra sensitive, if I do that, chances are I'm gonna make it worse. So second tip would be to avoid acids and exfoliants. And then number one is keep it simple and revert back to the basics until you're in the clear. And third tip, try one new item at a time. If there is 5 new skincare products that you wanna try, don't try them all at once. Keep your base routine and then incorporate one new item that you wanna try every couple days. So that way you know if your skin does start acting up, if something irritates it, you know the culprit. All right, moving right along. This next product I really wanted to share with all of you because I had a really great conversation with a registered dermatologist, Dr. Lou, on my Instagram for an Instagram Live. I want to bring this up because a dermatologist recommended this and it's really accessible. It doesn't require a prescription. It is the Cetaphil Redness Relieving Daily Facial Moisturizer with Sunscreen Broad Spectrum SPF 20. It has this really nice tint that sort of color corrects. So for me, when my skin is being extra sensitive, I get a ton of redness in this area. And I feel like most people get redness around the nose. So this is a really great product to help reduce redness. The way I use it in those areas is to just layer it on. You could definitely work this in as your moisturizer and not use it to spot correct like I'm doing right now. I just want to show an example because I think it's such a great product that you guys should know about if you have redness on your skin and are looking for a nice option that again is really easily accessible. And then my same sponge that I'm going to use to blend out my tinted moisturizer CC cream when I get to that step, I'm going to use that to just pat it in to the skin to keep the color correcting where needed and sort of maintain that tint to be a little more concentrated versus if I were to blend it in. But again, it would work across the entire face. This also has your SPF in it. But one last item I want to mention from Cetaphil, because sunscreen can irritate the skin. I have been there where it irritates this area of my face. So I just want to mention this real quick. The Cetaphil Sheer Mineral Face Liquid Sunscreen with Broad Spectrum SPF 50. It is a mineral sunscreen. So many of you ask for mineral sunscreen recommendations. This one is super sheer, easy to apply, and SPF 50, which is really shocking that it applies sheer with such a high SPF. So let me just go ahead and blend it in so I can show you guys. Face as your SPF. My CC cream is going to contain an SPF, so I'm just going to jump right into that next. I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Camo CC cream containing SPF 30, and I just remembered I also wanted to use one more product to create an overall healthy glow to the skin. The Auric, what's the official name? Glow Lust Radiant Luminizer. I love this stuff, and this is the shade Pyrite. I'm just going to go ahead and add that to the high points of the face now so that it just peeks through the skin and I don't have to go in with a powder highlight. A powder highlight can add texture, whereas a cream highlight like this, you'll see. Let me actually, I think I can zoom this. Yes! Look at that glow it gives. Just very natural, Gives the illusion that your skin is nice and hydrated and healthy. And I just like to pat it in, kind of like on the brow bone, high points of the cheeks, the temples, bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and also right here. Makes it look really pretty. But look at that glow. Tell me that doesn't look healthy and fresh. I'm gonna go ahead and really let the sponge dilute the product so I can get a nice sheer application, because the coverage on this Camo CC cream is like full coverage. Of course, if you need more coverage, you can definitely add more where needed. But I just find that the sponge and pressing on the product, especially over the Redness Relieving Moisturizer, helps maintain the coverage and that color correction. Also recommend using your fingertips. I think fingertips always give the most natural application, and it really allows you to feel the skin and where it is dry or a little textured, so you can be more aware of your own skin. And also when applying more product like concealer, or if you did want to go into the powder highlight, you would feel the textured areas and then know not to further enhance it with the rest of your makeup when applying it. But the sponge technique works really well for this really beautiful airbrush coverage. And I know it's a little dark, don't worry. This is shade medium 330W, but I'm going to, of course, balance it out when I go in with my concealer. I'm using the Kosas concealer. I don't know the name of it and it's not on here, but it's shade 03. And this concealer, they say, is supposed to be like an eye cream and be hydrating underneath the eyes. I would say this is definitely more like a dewy, fresh concealer. Just the general areas that I would apply this. Guys, look at how good the skin looks. Wow, are you impressed? Are you impressed with this zoom? Using all creams to keep it, again, just really light and fresh. I'm gonna use this Fenty cream bronzer in Butter Biscuit 02, which is really light because I want this to be more so a natural everyday makeup that you can feel confident in even when your skin isn't feeling so hot. I'm gonna use my finger to warm up the product and then press it on to the areas where it's gonna go, and then further blend it out with that sponge, which, by the way, is by Makeup Forever. And for the sides of the nose, I'm just gonna switch over to a smaller brush. I'm gonna use this LH304 brush just to add a little bit of shading down this way. And then once that's on there, I can blend it back out with the sponge so it doesn't look so harsh. Super fresh. Gonna add a little bit of color because I think adding a little bit of color definitely makes you look healthy and awake and alive and fresh and ready for the day. And I'm not gonna go too red in case your concern is redness. Instead, I'm gonna be using this new Rare Beauty liquid blush shade, which is just so beautiful and cool toned. I feel like so many blushes are very like brassy on me, so I always am excited when I see a really nice cool toned soft pink blush. This is called Bliss, and if you haven't used these from Rare Beauty yet, they are incredible. And you can just dot these directly. Like, honestly, I would start with one dot because they are so heavily pigmented. Or actually, I feel like you could do like, you know, a little bit of this motion and then use that same sponge again to blend it out. It's a really easy to use liquid blush formula. Cream blush, liquid blush, that adds the right amount of color without adding any texture, being difficult to blend out. A little tip when it comes to powdering your face, because I know powder can be a really touchy subject. Some people love it, hate it. I think it is an essential requirement in your makeup in order for it to stay in place. But here's the tip. A talc-free powder like the Coverfx Perfect Setting Powder is gonna be less drying, but you're gonna have to use a little more to really lock your makeup in place, especially in areas that crease like the under eyes. Laura Mercier Translucent, the staple, the OG, the #1, does contain talc. So you don't need as much, you don't have to bake with it, but it contains talc, so it can be a little drying. I would say it really is personal preference. I enjoy both, and I've used both before in a look. Laura Mercier underneath my eyes because look at how they crease. Hold on, hold up. When I say that my under eyes crease, look at that. See that? No matter what, also the eyelid. They just always crease and I have to bake in order for it to not crease. So here is what I'm gonna do. I wanna show you both. So I'm gonna use Coverfx Perfect Setting Powder first on the face to just spot set, you know, like spot conceal. I'm gonna spot set the areas that need it, like any area that you don't want to be shiny, center of the forehead, right around here. And then I'm gonna use Laura Mercier on the eyes and might be just on the eyes to really prevent this creasing. For the face, I'm gonna use this Smashbox Blurring Foundation Brush. Oh, wow, I literally just spilled that everywhere. I'm gonna work the brush into the Coverfx powder. Try not to do it so aggressively like I just did. Tap off the excess and then start pressing it into those areas that you don't want to be shiny. So I'm not gonna powder the areas that I highlighted. Also, just like pretty much like right here, because I want to keep that shine there. Plus I have a headband on, so I don't mind if the skin is a little dewier, moisturized than normal because my hair is not going to be sticking to my face today. The Laura Mercier powder. First, it's important to blend out the creasing so you don't set the creasing. Use the brush to blend it out a little. This is a Rephr number 15 brush. That same brush into the powder. And look at that, we're looking super fresh, like nothing ever happened to our skin. I'm gonna give a light mist of Fix Plus. That's what I'm gonna do next. Just a very, very light being the keyword here. A facial mist is definitely great to hang on to if your skin is extra dry, if you find that once you've powdered, it has enhanced the dryness, the look of it, not maybe the feel of it, but the look of it. And a facial mist will reduce the look of powder and make you look refreshed. So a very light amount because I still feel like the skin looks fresh and dewy, like it doesn't need this step, but just wanted to share that tip with you just in case. So one. I like to go vertical, then horizontal, just like that. Brows, mascara, and the lip, and we're gonna be done with this look. And if I didn't have my base done, I would just go in with the Artist Couture Lip Oil. Delicious Silky Lips Lip Oil. But I do need a little, you know, a little defining. Gonna, you know, make them look a little large and in charge with this Haus Labs lip liner in the shade In Point. That is everything that I wanted to share with all of you from a sensitive skin type perspective. Everything from a skincare routine, to makeup tips, tricks, and advice. Again, keep it simple, revert back to the basics, and no acids or exfoliants if your skin is acting up. And choose the right products and application techniques with your makeup for an overall fresh finish, even when your skin isn't feeling so hot. I hope you guys took some notes. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, share it, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace out.